1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, looks like the mic is working. Hey guys, Half Mango here. I am back to streaming somehow. I don't know what am I doing here? Where am I? What planet am I on? What sector of the universe am I in? I have no idea, but I am back. Whole Food is back to streaming after I don't know how many months of being absent. Teal, thank you so much for swinging by. You are a true homie. But yes, I'll be honest, I'm a little nervous also. Why isn't my chat working? I'll fix that later. The big board right next to my face is supposed to be chat. I think I forgot to change the chat after I updated it. I love Scuff. It's so delicious. Yum. I'll fix it later. You know, I expect today's stream to be a train wreck. I expect some fire to erupt from my laptop. I expect the ceiling to fall on my head. Hopefully I'll live through it. And the Scuff, as always, we are so back. Indeed, we are so back. I mean, today is supposed to be a pilot stream. It's been a while. I haven't done this in a while, so I need to get used to it again. And I'll be honest, I don't know how long I'm gonna stream today. It's I don't even know. You know, like I'll try to send you guys out before the Summer Gaming Fest starts because I need to watch that thing as well. But I don't know. I'm trying to gauge a lot of things today as well. So we'll see how things go. That being said, what the hell am I doing here, right? What am I doing? Well, if you are one of my older viewers, then you probably know me as the dude who played this old game called it Dungeon Fighter Online, and I was one of the few people who actually read the lore because I'm weird, I guess. I am done with that. That was my season 1 of streaming, let's call it that. Now it's season 2 time. So what am I doing in season 2? Well, season 2, I've decided that, well, you know, season 1 I was streaming, yes, but I also had no idea what I'm doing. Now, I want to make real content. What is this real content I'm talking about? I am a freelance Korean and English translator, which means I can Korean and I can English. Somehow. And there are quite a few video games out there that have multiple voiceovers to, for the games. For example, as you can see on the screen, we have Hoyoverse with this video game called Genshin. No, I'm just kidding. It's called Genshin Impact. And it has Japanese, Chinese, English, and Korean. And I think all of their other games too, like Honkai Star Rail, Honkai 3rd, and whatnot. And the upcoming Xenoblade Zone Zero probably will have 4 languages as well. And quite a few other games out there have multiple voiceovers like that. And I told myself, you know, that's pretty cool. And naturally, like, all these languages are supposed to mean the same thing, otherwise it would defeat the purpose of having multiple voices. But these voiceovers and localizations aren't always the same, right? Because lo and behold, and surprise, surprise, languages function differently. Apparently, some crazy language from far east side of the world is different from another crazy language from, like, this place called Europe. And I thought the nuances and the little bits and details that are sometimes more fun than people may think are always lost in either the translation or jokes that are literally impossible to salvage in different languages because some puns and jokes and innuendos and proverbs and whatnot it only makes sense because it's that language. Well, lucky for you guys, I can, as I mentioned, English and Korean. So I thought, well, perhaps it'll be a little fun and educational for a lot of people if I can maybe perhaps use my perhaps a bit lacking, but I believe it's satisfactory skills to good use and show you guys how exactly they are different. On that note, though, so I'll be basically what I want to do is look through and listen to basically English and Korean voiceovers in different video games, and also I'll bring in Japanese a little bit as well because I can a little bit of Japanese. I won't say I can speak Japanese, but I can like half Japanese, I guess. And see, look through them, see how they're different. And I guess in part this is also reactionary because I'll try to go in blind for a lot of things. And maybe that'll make things a little more fun for you guys. Till you have a question, feel free to throw them now before I actually get started, I'm still yapping. I love a cup of yappuccino with a slice of yapperoni. Learn from the best. So if you want to ask something, feel free, because I'm still in the introductory yapper phase. I actually did tell myself that I'm gonna just free chat for 20 minutes and start at 1 p.m. Eastern sharp with my real content, but schedules are for wusses. Imagine being punctual. That's the guy who started at 12:30 sharp. But yeah. What I was trying to get at with my yapperonis was that a lot of these video games have Chinese voiceover on them, and unfortunately, Chinese is the one language that I have absolutely no idea how it functions. I listen to people speak Chinese, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Excuse me? I do not understand what you are speaking, and I'm scared. I don't know the sentence structures. I don't know the grammatic structures. I have no idea what's going on. I am so sorry. So I unfortunately cannot say anything about Chinese. I'm not listening to Chinese because I have anything against them. No, in fact, I find Chinese language pretty cool, but nothing I can do about a language that I have no idea. But yes, I'll be listening to Japanese, English, and Korean and see, where they float and where they sink and where they go home. I don't know if that's a saying. I have no idea what I'm saying. Question is basically, how would you translate English slang over to Korean if your example would be words like ain't, gotta, or kinda? An excellent question, actually, because every language naturally has their own slangs, right? You don't, If only, right? If only you could actually, on that note, some people kind of overestimate how much Google Translate can do. And they're like, oh, why do you need translators? Just punch the Google Translate. Because Google Translate, at least so far, and any other translating machine out there, right now, are idiots. I'm not saying they're incapable or incompetent. In fact, they're pretty good, They can deliver the messages and the information that's contained within the paragraph more or less efficiently and correctly. But, if there is a difference between a person saying, could you please hand me that cup of water, sir? And another guy saying, yo, bro, get me that, I'm kind of thirsty, bro, get me that thing so I can hydrate. These two sentences technically mean the same thing, but they are also wildly different, And that comes down to how much corresponding slangs exist in the other language. Because one thing that people, I think this is a misconception that's very prevalent and common when people try to learn a language, is the fact that you have to start from grammar. No, you do not. You do not have to start from grammar. That's a misconception. In fact, when you learn a language, you can start from nowhere. You can just start from talking to people and you just absorb what they're saying. And what I'm trying to get at with this is that every language has their slangs that are against their grammatic rules and are basically condensations and simplifications of what's supposed to be. We say, we ain't doing that, we gotta go home, I kinda suck, we say all these kind of things. And these are not things that, at least before 100 years ago, I think, I don't know the history of English, they didn't exist in the English language. They came to be at some point when people started using these expressions. And that's how slangs and these shortenings come to exist. And same things exist in, naturally, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, and all the other languages out there. And if such like slangs exist, like a corresponding slang does exist, that can be one-to-one translated, then I would naturally try to use that. But chances are it will also not exist because these slangs are also affected by culture, society, and a ton of other things. If they don't, then I have to think about the context, the atmosphere, and the situation that I'm trying to translate. Going back to the first example that I had, like, sir, could you please hand over that cup of water? And versus, yo, bro, I'm kind of thirsty. Hand over that jug so I can hydrate myself. That kind of sounds weird, but you know what I mean. If I used slangs for the first sentence, then it would be weird because the first one is very formal. Like it could be in a situation like on a court, for instance. I don't know if anyone actually says it in a court, but yeah, that could be a thing. And if I use slangs to translate that, then that would be blatantly wrong. So what I can do at the very least is, if there is a slang in the original sentence and I need to like use that slang in the other language, but if that slang doesn't exist, then I try to at least make it preserve the situation. Like, if you're using a slang, then obviously it's very informal. You're not in a courtroom, and unless you're crazy, you are not gonna tell the judge like, "Yo, bro, you shouldn't be doing that, bro." If you did that, then good luck with that. So if it's like a formal situation, I try to go formal. If it's like an informal, slangy situation, then I try to use slangs. If not, I keep it informal and slangy as much as possible. Also, Hentai Master, what in the living frick is this? A go male voice mommy VTuber now? Funny you say that because, also, first of all, thank you very much for swinging by in my first return stream in 16,000 years. Second of all, I don't have the money right now to make a VTuber model, but I assure you, in the future, I will do my best to convert from a PNG tuber into a VTuber. I am not kidding. I cannot guarantee it's gonna be a mommy, but hey, Mango VTuber will be a thing in the future. Whatever the case, so where was I? So yeah, I hope that answers. That was a long tangent on your question, Teal, but I hope that answered your question. What the hell? Mr. Mango is finally real again? Hey yo, Caspar! It's been so long. Yes, I am real. Somehow. Things got real. We are so back. Thank you for coming back to my return stream. It's good to see you again. How are you guys doing? So using my slang for an example, if I would to use it be like that, you would just translate to it is like that. If like a corresponding slang doesn't exist, then yeah, like I'll be like it's like that, something like that. Yeah, I would try to go for an informal and shortened sentence to deliver that message as similarly as possible. And yeah, that's always the hard part, right? Being a translator is because most people, like, if they have like certain degree of knowledge between two languages, they can at least deliver the message no problem. But if a job of a translator is also to deliver the nuances and the subtle atmospheres a lot as well, and that's the hard part. You're making Mango go Korean. Funny you say that, Hentai, because I'm gonna be speaking a lot of Korean from now on. My phone can't seem to handle Twitch anymore. Hope you're live when I get home, but in case, I'm glad to see you're doing okay. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, but back to work. Yes, good luck with your work, Teal. Teal, I'm so sorry, Teal. Good luck with your work, Caspar. And thank you so much for swinging by. Hope to see you again. You're learning Korean. Hey, Hentai, since you say that, I mentioned this before, but I've entirely, like, this is half Mango Season 2, right? Season 1 was me playing DFO and then, like, telling to people, did you guys know that the 13th Apostle is something along the lines of that. That was what I did. The Season 1 is over. It's Jover. We are here in Season 2. And what is Season 2? I am basically, I'm gonna teach people Korean. Well, not exactly, but what I'm gonna do is basically see how, video game voiceovers in different languages differ, primarily English and Korean. Maybe a mixed sprinkle of Japanese, because I can little Japanese. That's not a sentence. But yeah, I only know 귀찮아. 귀찮아. Bro, who taught you that? Who taught you that? Who is the disgusting bastard who told you that? And nah, it's fine. It's not that bad of a slang, but I didn't expect to see that here. And you don't even know what that means? Okay, so let's start with a little bit of a Korean mini lesson before we actually get to the real content. So the word 귀찮아 means I'm lazy. So it's like you know, like, hey, well, buddy, I'm going grocery shopping. You wanna come with? And then you would say, no, I'm too lazy. And that's basically what it means. 귀찮아 means that. Now, there is a slang, there's a slang / meme in Korea where if you wanna like emphasize or exaggerate something, you just add king to it or replace one of the letters with king. So what people have been doing is, if you're like omega lazy, you just like 킹찬아. That's basically what's happening here. And then I'm surprised that you know that one out of all the things that you could have known. Yeah, I'm learning my third language, Mom. I'm glad you're learning your third language. And hopefully, if you stick around and watch my streams, then you will get better in Korean. Or, I don't know. I mean, my streams are not gonna be like practical lessons where, oh, you use this word in this context. I'm not gonna be too specific about those things. I'm trying to make things fun. So like if like a hot mommy says something in English, how does she say it in Korean? You know, something like that. So if you were to represent slang or accents, accents, the most difficult part of translating. Would you need to use the literal translate of the script, or do you change the translation to fix the tone of the slang or accent? That depends. But if like the character has like a specific accent or dialect, then obviously I would try my best to like save it and preserve it. But unfortunately, it's, you know, like if someone has like a Texas dialect, and you know, how there is no Texan Korean, right? There is no Texas dialect of Korean, unfortunately. So I can't, you know, translate that one-to-one for obvious reasons. So I have to think about, okay, how am I gonna do this? Am I gonna like bring in a certain dialect from Korean like region, because Korea also has regional dialects and whatnot? Or should I, you know, just stick with it and just, you know, focus more on the manners of speech, the mannerisms, and the innuendos that come from this person's mouth? And that's the hard part, right? Oh, excuse me. When you're translating things, that's always the hard part. Like trying to, oh, how do I save this joke? How do I save this slang? How do I save this accent or dialect? It's always so difficult. I'm gonna like show an example of that later after I'm done with. Actually, you know, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna do a hard U-turn here. Thank you, Teal, for this idea. You know, today I was gonna talk about Clorinde from Genshin, and I will after I'm done yapping. But let me start by hold on. Let me open YouTube, another tab of YouTube, and I'm gonna show you an example of what I mean. I'm gonna bring in your favorite Boothill, Honkai, Star Rail, Boothill. Okay, here is the English one, and then side note, Honkai in Korean, because Honkai Star Rail is the English title, right? In Korean, it's slightly different. It's Bunge Star Rail. Hold on, let me Boothill and Boothill. Here it is. Okay. Alright, so let me pause the music for a bit. And let's see here. Hold on, I need to put up a text. Hold on, let me change one thing real quick. Appetizer. Boothill. How do you spell appetizer? Hold on. Am I crazy? Is that how you spell appetizer? I feel like I'm going nuts. See? Which is funny because I told everyone that I am a translator, I can English. Okay, that's how you speak appetizer. I'm not crazy. Okay. Appetizer. Boothill. There we go. Alright, so let's 붕괴, yes, so 붕괴, which means to collapse or to crumble. And that's what the original title Honkai means. Anyhow, I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, maybe not, or maybe I will watch the whole thing. We'll see. But yeah, let's watch Boothill's trailers and then continue. Also, if something's too loud or sound level's weird, feel free to tell me.
Spokesperson for the IPC Strategic Investment Department responded with,
"This is a big deal, cowboy. Of course, it'll be dangerous." "How big?" "IPC big enough."
You have a new bounty. Please process it as soon as possible.
Dangerous? Well, fudge. Dangerous for who? Bring it on, baby. Let's duel. Fair and square. Waiting in line for a bullet? Don't worry. This one's on me. Here, I'll give you a chance. Aim here. Just kidding, fudgehead. Come on. That's the forking spirit. When it's time to shoot, quit yapping. Lock and load, or dig your own grave. Of course, remember to aim for the heart.
Your bounty is complete. How would you like to land?
Good question.
That's a good trailer. That's a good trailer. The devs have a thing for adventures. Also, side note, wasn't the hot tax collector lady on the airship and then he just blew it up? Rest in peace. She never made it to the game, I guess. So what I want to get out of this is two things. First, Boothill has like the wild western. Is it Texan? I'm sorry, I'm not really good with like actual specific accents and dialects, so correct me if I'm wrong. But like wild western manner of speech. And second, his swearing have been censored. We have. I'm trying to not swear in my streams anymore because I'm trying to keep it PG-13. But I don't have a choice here. But we have motherfucking as muddle fudgin', and we have fuck as fudge. And we have son of a bitch as son of a nice lady. A southern accent. Right, I forgot the thing. Thank you. It's a southern accent. Or hillbilly, depending on how thick the accent is. Huh. I don't know about the second part. Anyhow, so yeah, so we have this specific quote-unquote censoring of his swearing. So we have these two things that are unique to how he talks, right? Now, we need to, like, this is assuming if I'm translating this into Korean, I need to be able to save this and translate that, at least, like, because all the swearing, and especially the southern accent, it doesn't exist in Korean. There's no southern Korean, unfortunately. So I need to figure out, if I was translating it, I need to figure out how I should do this. And a side note, I don't know how they actually work with their translation processes. I'm assuming that they make the original thing in Chinese and then translate it into like respective languages, the Korean, English, and Japanese. I don't know if it actually is. I don't know. I've never worked with Hoyoverse and MiHoYo, so I don't know. But if I was translating it, then I would need to figure out how to preserve these things. Now let's see how it's different in the Korean one. Shut up, YouTube Premium! Is it 1080p? Okay, there we go. Alright, let's see how the Korean sounds.
스타피스 컴퍼니 전략투자부 대변인 제이드는 다음과 같이 말했습니다.
큰 건입니다, 카우보이. 목숨을 잃을 수도 있죠. 얼마나 큰데? 컴퍼니 어떨까요?
새로운 숲의 주문 즉시 처리하세요.
목숨? 이런 족발 누구 목숨? 하, 덤벼보시지 베이비. 와라, 공평하게 겨루자고. 줄 서서 총 맞으러 온 거야. 사양하지 마. 이건 내가 쏘는 거야. 자, 기회를 주지. 여길 맞춰. 장난이야, 깜찍이. 가자! 자! 하! 오! 하! 오! 정말 짜릿하군, 베이비! 총을 쏴야 할 땐 입을 다물라고. 리로드를 하든 묘자리를 보든 물론 심장을 조준하는 걸 잊지 마.
새로운 숲의 완료. 안전하게 착수하려면 어떻게 하죠?
하! 좋은 질문이군.
Okay. Masterfully done as well. That's really good. But okay, so what happened here? So basically, what they did, because they couldn't salvage the Southern accent, so what they did is he talks in standard Korean, as in like Korean also has like dialects and like accents depending on the region and what you're trying to go with. But they just went with the standard Korean, but instead they gave him a very like rough, like he talks like ha ha, like he has this rough voice, right? So they gave him this rough voice and rough manner of speech to save that roughness, that almost like crudeness that's within the Southern accent. They try to preserve it by giving him this crude, rough, and masculine voice and manner of speech. And of course, we have the swearing censoring, and swearing censoring I think is relatively easy because Korean is not some saint's language where there's no swearing. For example, here the first censoring is there's a swearing called 족 같은, which they censored it to 혹 같은. 혹, so original one, the jot, it basically means dick, and it's yeah. So you might think like, okay, so that's just one-to-one translation, isn't it? But no, dick and jot they're used fundamentally differently. 족 같은, yeah, you can read like that. That's more or less accurate. But like the word jot, it's just dick, and it's used in a variety of situations. It's very, very versatile. It's but it's kind of a mix of a dick and fucking sucks. Like it kind of like that kind of like innuendo. It's what's in it, and they basically censored it to 혹, which sounds similar. It means like a dimple or a bump. If you slam your head hard on a wall, you would have a bump on your head. That's what a 혹 is. I also noticed that he says baby in English. Yes, he does say baby, which is one of the censoring. This one is basically baby right here. Unfortunately, I don't know exactly what they censored here because it's not specific enough. And the other thing is, I think I passed by like the Japanese version of Boothill, and I think he says baby a lot as well. So I think the Korean one maybe took some notes from the Japanese version and made him say baby quite a few times. And then 족 같은. Actually, hentai, you say that? That's actually a pretty accurate way of saying that. And actually that is also kind of appropriate in terms of like its meaning. And the other censoring is 이런 this one you guys probably know, but there's 이런 씨발, where they censored it to 이런 족발. 족발 is basically a pork knuckle. There's a food in Korea. It's 족발. It's basically boiled pork knuckle kind of braised pork knuckle, excuse me, something like that. Which is interesting because usually when people try to censor shibal, they go with shinbal, which is shoes. But instead they went with this one. So it's, I guess, less direct, and it's, you know, less prone to people like hearing like you know, hearing it and they're like, "Whoa, what did you say? Like, did the trailer actually swear?" They try to, I guess, avoid that misunderstanding. The choke is dick in Korean? Yes. Actually, it's the proper pronunciation is chot with a T in the end. But when people actually say it in sentences, it becomes like too fast, so it sounds more like choke than chot. Man, I'm swearing way too much. Whatever. Another interesting thing to see about this Korean version of the trailer is there are references, jokes, and puns that are not existent in the original one. In the not the original, the English one. For example, where was it? You don't want to teach me how to write that? I don't think I do, Hentai. I don't think I do. Where was it? Was it here? I think it was here. So that if I could be wrong here, but this is what I heard and saw. But apparently that alarm noise and female announcer saying things, apparently that is taken almost 1-to-1 from this delivery service in Korea. It's called 배달의민족. Excuse me. This happens when I'm trying to mix. When I try to speak both Korean and English at the same time, I kind of get mixed, and I go with Konglish and Ingrian. I have no idea. But 배달의민족, which means the people of delivery, and it's a delivery app / service in Korea, and that has the exact same what was it? Alarm noise telling you to, you know, a new delivery is ready. You know, take care of it. So they basically added a joke that doesn't exist in English. Another one is, which I found really cool, is here. So here he says, "이거 내가 쏘는 거야." So 쏘는 거야 means, so it's like a slang in Korean, which means like, I'm buying this, so this one's on me, you know, like in this one, in the English one, Boothill said this one's on me. Here he's the same thing, but here's what's better. 쏘는 거야, it means to shoot. So basically in Korean, if you say I'm shooting, that means I'm buying it. This round's on me. So basically this is like a double pun that they managed to salvage in Korean, and this was really good. I loved it. Hold on. So to get started, just learn by heart the alphabet first, right? Depends on what you want to do. If you're learning a language, you always need to classify what you want to do with it. Hold on, before I get on this tangent, let me read the wall of text T wrote. My favorite example of how they did a character with accent is Baiken from Guilty Gear. Yes, she has Osaka accent. A lot of Japanese characters do. English dub has a southern accent. That's a good one. Yes. So the best way to like salvage an accent / dialect is to just find a similar feeling dialect. But unfortunately, funny, because Osaka dialect, if it's translated to Korean, it's usually translated into basically Busan accent, like a like dialect from Busan region of Korea. But unfortunately, it's supposed to deliver this informal and very like easygoing sensation and atmosphere to it, which is different from like a southern accent. So I feel like southern to Osaka works, Osaka to Busan works, but I don't think Busan to southern works. So that's another thing you have to think about, like the context and how they synergize with each other. Anyhow, going back to what Hantai was saying, if you're trying to learn a new language, you always have to think about, what the fuck, why am I seeing my own chat rules? You have to think about what you want to do with a language. If you, let's say you want to be able to, like, let's say read, write, and use it for more academic purposes. Let's say you're trying to go to a Korean university. In that case, you know, you like having a proficient reading and writing capabilities, it's important. It's much more important than like regular, like run-of-the-mill and day-to-day conversational skills. In those cases, you would probably want to start with the alphabets, master it, and then focus on the grammatic aspects. I don't know, roasted in Korean, I think? Hey, I don't think roasted mangoes are very delicious, actually. Like, I don't know, like, roasted pineapples, maybe they're a thing, but I don't know about roasted English. Roasted English. What is wrong with me? I don't know what roasted English is. I meant roasted mango. But if you're like just trying to like I learned English just to watch YouTube. Yeah, so if you're trying to learn a language just like to understand what people say, for a less formal and more, fun uses of it, like watch YouTube videos, talk to people and roast mango on his streams, then in those cases, okay, then again, you have to type it out if you want to roast me on Twitch, in which case you have to learn the alphabet, but you don't have to focus too much on the grammar. I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but if you're learning a new language, a very common misconception is that you have to learn the grammar. You don't. You actually don't. You absolutely don't have to learn the grammar. The grammar makes your language, your skills with the language more like fine-tuned, and it makes it more streamlined and structurized. So it's more min-maxing, but it's not actually necessary for you to be able to speak the language. And there's actually very solid proof of that. When little kids, like 6-7-year-olds, I think, when they first enter primary school, can they like not speak like English or whatever language? They actually can. They are actually pretty good at it. But then they haven't actually like learned a structurized grammar and all those kind of things. How they learned? They learned it by osmosis. They absorb things from their parents, their friends, if they have some. Hopefully they have some. That sounded really dark. And they basically absorb it from their friends, families, and whatnot. And they basically just stored it within their brain, and then they just, like eject it from their mouths from what they've heard and what they absorb from other people. And that's, if you just want to go with the practical aspects of the language, that's the best way to learn. You just listen to a lot of people talk, try to use that, like find people you can talk to, and try to use those things you've heard in a conversation. And then the grammar can come later. Later, like after you've reached a certain level, you can use the grammar to basically fix some errors in how you talk and all those kind of things. But you don't need to start with the grammar to be able to use a language. Or I'm just gonna type on the king channel every time I join your stream. What do you mean? What do you mean? Hopefully you'll pick up some slangs as you watch my stream. Because one, you said this time is actually pretty good. Yes, I'm gonna stream every Friday about at this hour. And I'm naturally gonna dip into some slangs or other things that come up in Korean and whatnot as I stream, hopefully. Also, I forgot to turn on the music because I stuck. Excuse me, let me hydrate myself for a bit. But yeah, that is basically the gist of what I want to do. And what is wrong with my Tuna? The music player, the music thing is called Tuna, and it's not responding? Oh, okay, there it is. There we go. Thank you, Tuna, for waking up. But yeah, that's basically what I want to do. And so that was Boothill. Good, hurry up so I can sub and throw half a cup of coffee to your face like I did with Teal. Why do you say that? Because I cannot get monetized. I am doing this entirely for free. It's almost charity. Because I am not legally allowed to earn money where I am right now. At least not with streaming. I can't earn money with it. So, for I don't know how long, you'll have to just stick with following me and saying funny things on chat. But you're always welcome to, stick around. And, I have already met the conditions to be a Twitch affiliate, but I can't. I thought you're in USA? No, I am not, my dear sir. I live in Europe. I live in Germany. Deswegen kann ich Deutsch sprechen. Ich kann Deutsch. Yeah, I can speak German because I live in Germany. And unfortunately, I don't have the legal clearance to basically earn money for myself. That's the reason. I can work for someone else and earn money from doing that, but I can't, basically be self-employed and earn money by streaming or something. So what's funny is the reason why I was curious about how Korean would handle slang or accents is because ironically the Japanese dub of Boondocks. Fascinating. Very fascinating. Evil German mango? Damn, that's actually a Halloween idea. I'll have to write it down somewhere. Thank you for the idea, Hentai. You are the best. Boondocks. Japanese dub of Boondocks. Interesting. Yeah, but it's... Also, slang is like an accent of a different part of the country, right? No, that would be dialect. Slang is basically like, for example, you can in English, there is, I've got to go to school. You know, that's the proper sentence. But you can shorten it as, I've gotta go to school. And that would be a slang. A slang is, I guess, a bit broad. I think, like, nowadays, the categorization of slang is kind of broad. Like, some memes can technically categorize as slangs, but not all, for obvious reasons. Slap a King Chala note on your face. Yeah, I do have a BRB. But yeah. I'm also figuring out like new ideas for my PNG tubing. I'll add new ones in the future when I have the monetary luxury. I don't have money right now, I'm poor. Like, you know, like, do I look like a rich mango? Like, this white suit I have, this suit I have is all of everything I have. It's all my possession. Please. Okay, whatever. But yeah, one day I'll be able to earn money off of Twitch and use it for good things, like my own stream. Vertically on your face. Oh man, feeling that deja vu. I think I had a similar idea of someday. Slang is usually very informal. Sometimes you will hear some of my slang come out of my mouth. Even in text, you'll see that. Yeah, slang is basically something that you can use to your friends. I mean, technically, some people and a lot of people actually can and will use slangs in formal situations. Because like some subtle or weaker slangs like ain't, gotta, kinda, you can kinda use it in any situation, even if it's more formal. But other slangs, you would probably not want to use it in like a courtroom or something. Like King Chana, you don't want to say that to a judge in a courtroom. It's way too slangy of a slang to use it in a situation like that. Granted, Korean also has the issue of being very context sensitive. As in, like, okay, is it a formal situation? Is it an informal situation? You know, like the hierarchy in verbal conversations is very distinguished in Korean. Anyhow, so that's enough appetizer, I think. Hold on, let me change this. So, main menu, Clorinde. So today, as the pilot stream, I wanted to talk about Clorinde, who is a new character in this video game called Genshin Impact that just got added, was it a Tuesday or Wednesday? I'm horrible with time zones. And this is gonna be like, as I mentioned, a pilot stream. I'm trying to test out the waters as well. I don't know what I'm doing either. I want to figure out how I do this, and hopefully, if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, feel free to shout them out in stream or whatever, wherever you can find me. I don't have any social media, not yet anyway. I also have no idea how long I'm gonna stream. It's already been almost an hour, which is crazy. What is this Genshin Imp? Man, I still remember. Was it freaking last? Was it last year or last year's was it Games Awards? I have no idea where it was, but when I heard Genshin Impact, my soul left my body, went to the sun, got crucified, and then came back to my body. It was a few years back. Okay, I have horrible sense of time. But when I heard that, I actually died inside and out. That was... People, do your research! Like, okay, I get it. Like, this is Japanese, right? The word Genshin is Japanese. I think, is it? I don't know if it's read the same way in Chinese. I actually don't know. But like... You can't read it as Genshin because that's not how it works. Do your research, please. I know it's not obvious, but also it takes like 3 minutes of research to figure out how it's read. Anyhow, I really hentai. I'm not gonna read it out loud. It's borderline infidelity, but I love that sentence. Funny you say that because I'm not gonna play video games on stream anymore, not anytime soon. I'm just gonna be a yapper. So it's Genshin or Genshin. It's Genshin, Genshin. Or in Korean, it's funny. It's Korean. It's Wonshin. So Genshin Impact in Japanese is Genshin. I don't know how it's read in Chinese, unfortunately. In Korean, it's Wonshin. It's yeah. So it's that's the reason why the Korean one is wildly different, is because Korea, China, and Japan are all in the so-called the Oriental Asia, or the Far East countries, and they are all within the sphere of the Chinese, let's just say language, culture / environment. And both Japanese and Korean basically have words that are rooted to Chinese characters, and for these words, even if it's written in Chinese, both Japanese and Korean people can read it, at least most of the cases. Not always, because modern Chinese are different. It's different from like the old Chinese. But they can be read in specific ways that are respective of their languages, and they can sound similar or sound wildly different. What does Genshin mean? So Genshin or Wonshin in Korean. So the letter Gen or one, the Chinese character, I believe that means like primal or like original. And so the Wonshin or Genshin, basically what it means is like a primal god. Shin means god. So a primal god or an original god. And the reason why it's called that is because first of all, it's mentioned in the game somewhere. But the other one is there's a term wonsuk, which means the ore. Like let's say is if you say like a copper ore, then you say it's copper wonsuk. But yeah, and that one is the same one as this Wonshin or Genshin here. So it becomes like the primal god. And basically, I think lore-wise, I could be wrong here because I'm not a Genshin lore expert. But basically, all the people in the game who hold these things called visions are Genshins or Wonshins who can become an Archon or a god. I think that's lore. I could be wrong here. You know Chinese as well? I only like some characters. I don't actually know Chinese. Like, I can't listen to like Chinese voiceovers. I mean, I can, but I won't get like any information out of them because I don't understand a single. I have no like idea on like how the Chinese grammar, sentence structure, and all these things. I have no idea how they work. Like, my knowledge on Chinese is zero. I just know like some Chinese characters because of residual knowledge from knowing Korean and like watching anime. That's it. I don't know enough otherwise. Wait, do you know the thou in English? Yeah, so that's the old English. Thou shalt not commit adultery. That's the old English of saying you, like, it's the remnants. It's a very like dignified, like you would see those things in like Shakespearean novels. And it was how they spoke like English back in the day. And nowadays, you know, that got like replaced, like thou became you, and thy or thine became your, and they basically got replaced over time. And nowadays, like in normal situations, people like almost never use them. When they're used, they are either trying to make a situation that seems very fantastic and medieval, like FF14, or, you know, in like a sarcastic way. It's like, oh, you know, like, oh, thou art so whatever, like with your friends. You don't actually use it in like most normal situations anymore because it's basically dead. What was I saying? Excuse me, hold on, let me try to reconnect my brain wires as I take a sip. But yeah, so as you've noticed, like even Korean, Chinese, Japanese are wildly different. English, as it being the only European language, to be more specific, the only Anglo-Saxon language. Off topic, English is kind of different from the rest of the European languages as well. English and German are more similar, and the rest are a bit more different because, like the other ones, French, Italian, Spanish, they have their roots in Latin and Greek. On the other hand, English and German have their roots in Anglo-Saxon languages, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong here again. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a language historian, but I believe that's the case. There's a video I saw on my premium YouTube yesterday about medieval cooking, and the egg word is different. Yes, I feel like I've seen that video, the same video you're talking about. But egg used to be different. There were two words that used to be to refer egg. Anglo-Saxon, basically like Nordic. And yeah, languages change over time. You know, some people use like the term based. Giga chads and I don't know whatnot, the crazy memes that teenagers use nowadays, they might become standard language in the future. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Or they might get banned forever and never be mentioned in English language ever again. Modern Vietnamese from Latin as well, like the language itself, or are you talking about the alphabet? Because I didn't realize that the language itself is Latin based. Like the alphabet is Latin based, yes. And to be fair, like I think like half of the countries on this planet use English, or correction, the Latin alphabet as their written language. But I don't know how Vietnamese actually works. Oh god, I don't want Skibbity to be part of slang. We'll see what happens. You know, stick around and we'll find out. You know, we'll as people say nowadays, F around and find out. Or as Boothill would say, fudge around and find out. Yeah, the alphabet. Yeah, okay, yeah. So like, yeah, a lot of like countries use the English alphabet because it's pretty versatile. Like Indonesia, Vietnam, probably some like, and a ton of other like countries. Even like most of the European countries use English as like the English alphabet as their written form. What the Sigma? No, it's brain rot language. We'll see. You know, you say that, but the teenagers who are saying those things, when they grow up, they will be the adults who will be in charge. So we'll see what happens. When I said that, and the moment I said that, I was like, oh god. Humanity's doomed. Yeah, we'll be fine. I mean, I'm not human, so I guess joke's on you guys. Okay, anyhow. So, let's see more examples of how English and Korean are different, shall we? So, as I mentioned, the main menu today is Clorinde, the new character in Genshin that just came into the game a couple days ago. She's fresh off the press. And naturally, as Hoyoverse always does, they pump out teasers and trailers for these characters. And let's see how it's different. We'll start off with the English one. Go to the future. Oh god, they're going to the future. Oh boy.
Some say that champion duelists are to Fontaine as the safety is to a musket. Which is to say, a chance to defend one's honor and avoid the scrutiny of the prosecution. A way to unload the pent-up emotion in the courtroom without a violent eruption. But there's another way of looking at it, namely, when the accused denigrate the law and question its authority, we must safeguard the dignity of the court. And as a last resort, we will do so by force.
In that case, Mr. Mescal, please confirm whether I understand the defense's position correctly. You vehemently oppose the law, refuse to stand trial, and request an alternative recourse to defend the honor of your guild.
That's right! I demand a duel!
Too often, it is only when the safety is disengaged and the champion duelist takes aim that they finally realize whose hand controls the gun.
The request for a duel is approved. This decision is irreversible.
A masterful delivery by, I believe, Crystal Lee, who voices Clorinde, and Ray Chase, who voices Monsieur Neuvillette. Or if you are unfamiliar with the guy, he's the judge man sitting on the judge's seat. But yeah, very formal delivery, at least most of it, since we are talking about these characters who are related to the court of justice. Clorinde being the champion duelist, where if the guy's like, I don't like rules, I will fight my way out of the rules, then she comes in and she's like, well, time to die. I don't know what to call those two buttons on her shirt. Okay, hentai. Okay, funny actually you say that, because to be fair, a lot of people have mentioned that. Anyhow, infidelity aside. Okay, so that was the English one. Let's see how the Korean one is different.
폰타인에서 결투 대리인은 종의 안전장치 같은 존재라고 하지. 어떻게 보면 그건 냉혹한 심판청에서 명예를 지킬 기회를 줘. 감정이 폭발하지 않고 적당히 발산되게 해주는 역할이야. 또 한편으로 그건 율법을 의심하고 거스르는 어리석은 자들에게 심판의 존엄함을 보이기 위해 무력 행사라는 최후의 수단을 유보하고 있다는 뜻이기도 해.
그럼 피고인 측 협회 대표 메스칼 씨께 묻겠습니다. 율법을 무시하고 심판을 거부하며 다른 방식으로 협회의 명예를 지키겠다는 뜻입니까?
그래! 결투를 신청한다!
결투 대리인이라는 안전장치가 풀리고 총알이 장전되는 순간 그들은 칠흑 같은 총구를 직면하는 공포를 처음으로 깨닫게 되지.
결투 신청이 승인되었습니다. 철회는 받아들이지 않겠습니다.
Also masterful performance by Shin-Nari, who voices Clorinde, and Kwa Gyun-sang, who voices Monsieur Neuvillette. So the Korean one as well, naturally, has very formal and restrained atmosphere to it. But I think there are some differences. Like, for example, in the delivery, this is my interpretation, by the way. This one is, people can take things differently naturally. But I think the Korean Clorinde is she sounds a bit more cold-hearted and restrained. While the English Clorinde, she feels a bit, sure, she still sounds restrained and reserved, but also like some parts of her emotions like peeking out once in a while. That's how I feel. But that is not what we are here to talk about. What I want to talk about is, so how exactly are they different? So let's go over the who's it? Actually, hold on. Let me try something. Real quick. Where is the Korean transcript? No? Fine. I'll put on the wait, hold on. What am I doing? Yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll put up the Korean CC on the English video. This is Omega Scuff. Do you guys love Scuff? I sure do. I like to hear the language I know jack shite about. Actually, if you say that, then I don't know if you're being sarcastic or real, but let me change to the Korean version and put up the English CC up here. Never mind. Korean video sucks because it doesn't have the English CC. Never mind. They don't want it. They will not allow it. I guess I do have to use the English video. Anyhow, so there were some. Let me try to dissect these sentences, and see exactly how they're different. So most of the things are already quite similar, but there were some differences. For example, the very first sentence that she says, which is, some say that champion duelists are to Fontaine as the safety is to a musket. The Korean sentence is mostly the same, but it's slightly different. It reads, 폰타인에서 결투대리인은 총의 안전장치 같은 존재라고 하지. Here, the primary differences, I can see 3 differences. The first is the term champion duelist. It basically means like a proxy for a duel, right? But the term champion duelist is like a Genshin thing. I don't think it's been like actually used like a broad historical sense. But on the other hand, the Korean word for it, which is 결투 대리인, which literally means a dual proxy, it's like a more common term and like a historically used term for a dual proxy. So in the English one, we have the term champion duelist, which to be fair means the same thing. They are a proxy for a duel, but they basically made this expression for Genshin that's unique to it. But in Korean, they just stuck to the regular word for it, which I think it's not wrong per se, you know, because sometimes if you try to like make up a new word for it, sometimes it can seem a bit convoluted, or it can seem like you're trying too hard to be, you know, anime or something. So or I don't know if like maybe it's the English that's trying hard. I don't know how it's in Chinese or Japanese. Maybe they just use the regular terms for it. Another thing that I've noticed is, so we have in English she says a musket, which makes sense because Fontaine is a country that's based on like Victorian France, I believe, and then they don't have like actual proper firearms. They still had muskets. But in the Korean one, she says 총, which is a broad term that refers to general firearms and guns. She didn't mention a musket specifically. If she wanted to say musket, then she would have said 화승총. 화승총 is a musket, but she just said 총 here, which is just a gun. So she was not being specific here. And lastly, this is a bit small, but in the original, we don't see any brackets. Here we see a cornered brackets around this word. This word is 안전장치, which means a safety to a gun. The word is one-to-one literal same. Oh, excuse me, I just smacked my mic. But I'm not sure why they put brackets around it. If I had to guess, they like to do this in like Japan. Like a lot of Japanese like Genshin anime and whatnot, they like to put brackets around like certain terms to emphasize it. I think that's why they did this, but I'm not sure honestly. But otherwise, it's just the same word. Okay, let's move on. What else was there? Which is to say, that's the same language, same sentence. She says, which is to say, in Korean she says 어떻게 보면 그건, which is the pretty much one-to-one same sentence. The next sentence says, a chance to defend one's honor and avoid the scrutiny of the prosecution, which is interesting here because it's slightly different. In Korean, we have 냉혹한 심판청에서 명예를 지킬 기회를 줘. So let's see here. In English, we basically have 2 things happening here, right? A chance to defend one's honor and avoid the scrutiny of the prosecution. Specifically, she says the prosecution, which I guess it makes sense because in the court of Fontaine, there's just the prosecution, I think. But here we have 냉혹한 심판청에서. So 냉혹한 심판청. 냉혹한 means like cold, scrutinizing, and like that manner. So that's the scrutinizing, scrutiny. Excuse me, that's the word for it. But 심판청, that means the court of justice. She's not being specific about the prosecution here. And then 냉혹한 심판청에서 명예를 지킬 기회를 줘. The second half, 명예를 지킬 기회, that's a chance to defend one's honor. But here is the slight difference. In the English, it was dissected into 2, a chance to defend one's honor and avoid the scrutiny of the blah 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 blah. In Korean, we have basically what she says is a chance to defend one's honor on the cold Court of Justice. So it's just one thing instead of being divided into two. A slight difference, but I found it interesting. It's like the nuance and the delivery could be slightly different. How many Korean alphabet are there? That's a good question. I don't remember off the top of my head. But in Korean, there are basically separate alphabets for what the heck do you call those? My brain just farted and forgot about it. Hold on. Separate. What was it? List for consonants. And what's the other one? What's the other one for consonants and the vowels? Jesus Christ! Thank you, Google. You're the best. Yeah. So lexicon. No. The vowels, consonants, and vowels. I can't talk. Sorry. The Korean language, basically, the way it works is, so let's see the first letter. We have neng. This is neng. The way it works is the first. So we have 2 consonants and 1 vowel. And a Korean letter is basically formed by combining multiple alphabets to form one letter, and the letter is combined to make a word. So basically, unlike English, where you have alphabet, you combine them, you make words, Korean is a 2-stage language where you combine alphabet to make letters, and those letters to words. And I believe, how many vowels are there? There are 21 vowels. The vowels basically decide the direction of the pronunciation, like a, e, I, o, u. And then we have consonants, which are, how many consonants are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like it's 19 consonants. So 19 consonants and 21 vowels, in total of 40, it seems like. I could be wrong though, I'm not really sure. I don't remember this off the top of my head. So yeah, what happens here is we have this angled thing here is a consonant, and it represents the pronunciation of N. So it becomes N. And this one to the side with 2 sticks and the middle one is a vowel for E. So we have ne. And then what comes under it is basically the end pronunciation of the letter. And this is this circle is basically or ng, ng. It's either an empty vowel or ng pronunciation, so it becomes neng. So basically, these 3 vowels and consonants were combined to make this letter neng, and then we make other letters as we need fit and form words, and with those word sentences. Hold on, excuse me, let me hydrate. Oh god, actually it's the Korean written language, like the alphabet itself, is actually very structurized and easy to learn. What's hard is Korean spoken language. Korean spoken language is very hard. Like the grammar is very context sensitive. But like the written language itself is actually very easy to learn because it's very structurized and like yeah, it's the pronunciation is very embedded within it. Like sure, English alphabet's the same thing, but English alphabet there are a lot of exceptions. For example, the word rendezvous, sure, it's technically French, I guess, but it's also used in English. If you want to pronounce it literally, it becomes rendezvous. But no one says rendezvous, it's rendezvous because it's French. And that's an exception, right? And there are like a lot of exceptions like that in English. Korean has those exceptions as well, but not as much because the pronunciations are hard-coded into the alphabet. And the written language itself is actually very easy to learn, I would say. Rendezvous, that's how it's pronounced. As to how it's written, it's rendezvous. Yeah, that's how it's written, but it's pronounced rendezvous because it has French origins. How does Korean handle acronyms or abbreviations? Good question. So Korean language has its own set of like abbreviations, but the way it works is, I I mean, it can sometimes be like English abbreviations where they just take the first letter. So they would take, for example, if this, I want to like abbreviate this word, I can take the first letters of each and make it into a new word. That happens sometimes. But it's not always the case. It depends on what word you are like trying to abbreviate, I guess. But yeah, like abbreviation kind of works similarly as it does in English. But it also is a bit broad in its functionalities and how it's produced. Because English, usually you just take the first letter of each word, which Korean does the same way, but not always in Korean. It, again, as I mentioned, it depends on what you are abbreviating. I just pronounced it as rendezvous. I mean, to be fair, it's unclear, right? Like those are one of the exceptions in English where if you like see it on paper and you've never seen the word, you're like, I have no idea how to pronounce this. I'll just read it as it is. And that's the case that happens when the language is not hard coded into the pronunciation is not hard coded into the alphabet itself, and that's when like multiple exceptions arise. Korean is the case where the pronunciation is hard coded, so the exceptions like that are relatively rare. And I think Japanese as well is pretty hard coded because hiragana, katakana, I've never seen cases where there are exceptions as to how they are read, but in exchange there are like a lot of modifications to them. Anyhow, let's move on. So the next one, it says, a way to unload the pent-up emotion in the courtroom without a violent eruption. Very interesting. Okay, so this is one way to see a distinct difference between Korean and English. So the sentences themselves are almost one-to-one the same, but they are backwards. So in English, we have a way to unload the pent-up emotion in the courtroom. So the way comes first, and then, we have without a violent eruption, which is the consequence. But in Korean, we have, why was YouTube twitching? Whatever. In Korean, we have 감정이 폭발하지 않고, the first sentence, the first half of the sentence, which means without a violent eruption of emotions. Basically, the result came first, and then came the sentence which says 적당히 발산하게 해주는 역할이야, which means, a way to unload the pent-up emotion in the courtroom. So we basically have the same sentence, but they are positioned in the opposite manner, which happens because Korean sentence structure and English sentence structure are very different things. But otherwise, these sentences are very, very similar and almost one-to-one in terms of their words. Let's see, what else comes next? Namely, when the accused... Why was it loading for so long? When the accused denigrate the law and question its authority, we must safeguard the dignity of the court. Okay, so here we have some differences, not a lot. Why is this part loading like 16 years? Okay, so English, we have when the accused denigrate the law and question its authority. In Korean, we have 율법을 의심하고 거스르는 어리석은 자들에게. Now, here, the significant difference is this part here, 어리석은 자들에게, which means the foolish. So, in English, we have the accused. She's being non-specific about it, when the accused try to, go against the law, blah, 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 blah. But in Korean, she's straight up saying these idiots who are trying to go against the law. Man, Korean Clorinde is very, very cold. And then what comes next? We must defend the dignity of the court. Okay, this one is more similar, but the expression is different. In Korean, we have 심판의 존엄함을 보이기 위해. which in the core meaning they are the same, but in the Korean one, 심판의 존엄함을 보이기 위해, that in its literal sense, it means to show or to display the dignity of the court. So it's slightly different expression. Of course, in terms of their meaning, they're the same thing, where, you know, we're trying to protect the dignity of the court. But in English, it's a bit more passive. They're trying to defend the dignity of the court, while in the Korean, it's more active. They're trying to display the dignity of the court. So, wow, I'm already noticing that the Korean Clorinde is a lot more aggressive, to say the least. What comes next? And as a last resort, we will do so by force. Okay, this sentence is actually the opposite. Here, the English one is a bit more aggressive, because in English we have, and as a last resort, we will do so by force. She will do so by force. In Korean, the sentence is very long and complicated. This is a very hard sentence. 무력 행사라는 최후의 수단을 유보하고 있다는 뜻이기도 해. So, 무력 행사 is the display of force. 최후의 수단 is the last resort. 유보하고 있다는 뜻이기도 해. So this second half of the sentence, it basically means, she's saying, it also means it's containing or pertaining. 유보하고 있다. That's a difficult word. It's containing the last resort, which is the display of force. Oh yeah, also another difference, slight difference. In English, it's just force. In Korean, they used 무력 행사, which means display of force. It's slightly different, I guess. So that is, wow. They went with a long and difficult sentence for Korean, while English was like, screw it, we'll just do it by force. Huh, interesting. They decided it's time to take turn, and English went with the more violent, solution. Wait, is it true the word for groceries store in Germany is long as? Depends. If you're asking for like the literal grocery store, then I believe it is. It's not something used too often. But usually, like in German, if you're trying to say like supermarket, then you just say Supermarkt. There's a word for it. But groceries in German, wow, this is certainly German stream. But what is it? Groceries in German is Lebensmittel. And the Germans basically love to make new words by sticking words together. Instead of like coming up with new words, they just stick like a ton of words together and make a new words for it. And so that usually ends up with like ridiculously long words, which just mean like a potato or something. And that's probably why. Excuse me, give me a moment. It's getting quite dark here, so let me go get the lights. Darkness! Hold on. BRB! Okay, let me just take this off my face. There we go. Basically, King Chara, the word makes a return. In a sense, I guess Germans were like, well, we are too lazy to make up new words. We'll just stick them back to back. Maybe. Is this hair? I got hair in my mouth. I'm a fruit. Whatever. And then. So what else does she say after that? In that case, oh, this is Nervillette talking to the defendant. Also, I noticed that the Korean Nervillette sounds a lot older than the English Nervillette, and he sounds a lot colder. Both Nervillettes sound dignified, but the English Nervillette sounds more intelligent and more dignified, while the Korean Nervillette sounds more rigid and restrained and old. I'm quite enjoying this, preventing me to take a piss. Go take a piss! Damn it! I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I'm glad it's like enjoyable enough that you're not going to take a piss, but go take a piss! Your bladder will explode and that's not healthy. What was I saying? Yes, so we are talking about also. I just realized the English sentence is Mr. Mescal, please confirm whether I understand. And then the Korean is just 피고인측, which means the defendant or the defendant's side. fair and based. Hold on. 그럼 피고인측. Hold on. Is the seconds? Ah, okay. So this part, the English and Korean expressions are very different for this one. So we have in English, we have Mr. Mescal, please confirm whether I understand the defense's position correctly. So he is asking to confirm, like whether, as he literally says, whether he's understanding the intentions and the meaning of the defendant properly. But in Korean, it's just we have 협회 대표 메스칼 씨에게 묻겠습니다. What this means is he's just saying I'm trying to think of an expression that they would use in a court, but basically he's saying, let me ask Mr. Mescal. That's it. That's all he's saying in Korean. Well, to be specific, we have this 협회 대표, which means like I guess he oh yeah, he did mention guild, I guess. So this Mr. Mescal guy is the guild representative. So we have the guild representative in the front, and we have Mr. Mescal, Mescal 씨께 묻겠습니다. 묻겠습니다 means to ask in a formal manner. But yeah, it's just one sentence in Korean, while in English we have Nervillette or Ray Chase just yapping like a 3-sentence long to ask basically, may I ask? Fascinating. And then what does he follow with? You vehemently oppose the law. I can't speak. Excuse me. Oppose the law. Refuse to stand trial, and request an alternative recourse to defend the honor of your guild. Okay. Similarly, I feel like the Korean Nervillette is more direct with his expressions. It's more concise. While the English one is more dignified. Is this word Wonshin means Genshin? Yes, that's the Wonshin I mentioned before. But it seems like the English Nervillette is a yapperoni, because you vehemently I can't speak. You vehemently oppose the law. So here, he specifically included the word vehemently to emphasize the fact that this guy will do whatever it takes to not follow the law. In Korean, we have just 율법을 무시하고, which means to ignore. 무시 means ignore. So we have this guy just ignoring the law. So he's saying, you are ignoring the law. That's it. He's keeping it short and sweet, I guess. I can't believe I said that. And then the next we have refuse to stand trial. Yes. In Korean we have 심판을 거부하며, which means to refuse judgment. 심판 is judgment. And then lastly, and request an alternative recourse to defend the honor of your guild. 다른 방식으로 협회의 명예를 지키겠다는 뜻입니까? Yeah, so this one is almost one-to-one the same sentence. Nothing too different here. Moving on, we have the Mr. Mescal guy. That's right. Oh wow, this guy is... Okay, this is kind of crazy. Okay, so first of all, Korean has basically formalities embedded in its manners of speech. There are basically there are like ton of different like manners of, like I think like in total like 6 different manners, contexts and manners of speech. But for simplicity, I'm gonna mention only 3, which are informal, semi-formal, and formal. And informal, like Korea is a culture where the cultural hierarchy is very important, right? So depending on who you're talking to, you have to like pick the right manner of speech. And the informal one, usually you are only using it to your friends. And then semi-formal, you use it in a everyday situation. And formal manner of speech, you usually use it in like a very formal situation, like in a court. And Monsieur Neuvillette, the judge here, he's using the formal manner of speech. And this guy, Mr. Mescal here, he's using the informal manner of speech. He has no respect for the judge. He's insane. This guy is Eudex Neuvillette, the Chief Justice, basically the president of Fontaine. And he's showing absolutely no respect for the guy. The disrespect is real. Well, this guy has balls of steel. And then let's go with, yeah, and I demand a duel, or in English he said demand. In Korean he requested a duel. 결투를 신청한다. 결투 is a duel. 신청 is to request. So he requested a duel in Korean, but again, tomato, pretty much same thing. I will pretend I did not see that sentence. And then we have Clorinde walking up, and it's like, she's like, you called, and then he's like, oh, I made a mistake. Uh-oh, stinky. And yeah. What does it say? So what does she say after that? Too often it is only when the safety is disengaged. Uh-huh. And the champion duelist takes aim. Ah, okay. Fascinating. So, hold on. Oh, okay. Very interesting. So first of all, an immediate difference here. So English we have too often, where so she's trying to say that usually people are like too idiotic, to realize what they're doing. In Korean, she doesn't say that. She just jumps straight to the point. And then it is only when the safety is disengaged. It's similar, but here what she says is 결투 대리인이라는 안전장치가 풀리고. What that means is when the safety that is the champion duelist is disengaged. So she's or the dual proxy, whatever. She's specifically mentioning her role as a champion duelist as the safety. Bro be like, I'm gonna get into this fight and record it, and then said, I'm about to get my ass kicked. I'm not posting this. I mean, that's assuming he survives to, post it. Assuming he survives that long. Because in Fontaine, duels are always to the death. No one, like, one person must die. And considering this lady here, chances are he is not making it out alive. And then, hold on, what does she say here? And the champion duelist takes aim. 총알이 장전된 순간. Ah, okay. Now I see what they're doing here. So the orders are a bit jumbled here. In English, she pushed the term champion duelist to the back. And she says the champion duelist takes aim. But in Korean, what it says is when the bullet is loaded. 총알이 장전되는 순간. So that the moment when the bullet is loaded. So that's slightly different. A mix on like expressions and orders of things. Bro is like, huh? I mean, huh? Did you hear the Boothill? Song is marvelous. I mean, Hoyo verse is they do cook when it comes to their music. They're pretty damn good. Hold on. That they finally realize. Oh, okay, hold on. This is very interesting. Here we have basically two very different expressions. So we have that they in English they have that they finally realize whose hand holds the gun. She's literally saying, "Come get these hands." But in the Korean one, what she says is 그들은 칠흑 같은 총구를 직면하는 공포를 처음으로 깨닫게 되지. What that means is they realize for the first time the fear of facing the pitch black gunpoint, which is, I'd say, distinctly different from what the English is saying. Very interesting. in the English, the emphasis is on who's holding the gun, right? You know, it's you are not gonna walk out of this place, you know. But on the other hand, the Korean one is more focused on the who's it? The fear, the horror of facing a gunpoint. Hold on, why is this not working? Twitch. Okay, side note and off topic. I'm going on a tangent here. The hell? I basically use the Twitch app on my iPad as my secondary control panel, and frickin' one, they updated the Twitch app, and it's so bad right now. It's dog crap. Because before I could like see a whole bunch of things like chat and stats and then like some actions I can do in like one screen. Now they freaking separated them into like individual tabs and like, oh, that's organized. No, it's not. I don't want to move to like one tab with 16 buttons and the tab is filling up the whole screen, so I can't do different things at the same time. Like, why would you do this? And then now the chat is not updating. What is happening? I am disappointed and my day is ruined. My disappointment is immeasurable. Unbelievable. I don't think you guys can see me because I'm a PNG tuber. I'm shaking my head so hard right now. Yeah, I just closed the app. The UX researcher gotta have something to do though. Yes. By making things worse for the users. I love it. I love it. I love it. Fantastic. Anyhow, back to the topic at hand. So yes, so we had Clorinde talking crap about the defendant, and then the trailer ends with Neuvillette saying, "The request for a duel is approved. This decision is irreversible." Yes. The Korean says pretty much the same thing, but the expression is slightly different. In English, we have the decision is irreversible, meaning you can't go back on it. But the heck? But the Korean, what it says is what do you call it? Hold on, I'm trying to think of a word. Not veto. Why am I saying veto? Cancel synonym. Like, funny thing actually, my favorite friend as a translator is Google synonyms, because I need to figure out the synonyms and like I can't remember the words. Let's see here. Ah, yes. Basically, in Korean, what he says is, a retractment will not be accepted. And to be fair, in terms of meaning, it's pretty much the same thing as this decision is irreversible, quote unquote. But I think the slight difference here is, I think the Korean delivery is a little like hard on the nails, because he's like, it will not be accepted. Of course, again, in terms of their actual meanings, pretty much the same thing. But I like the cold, hard feeling that the Korean one has. At least this is my interpretation. So, that was the teaser. That's hold on, how long has it been? It's been about an hour and a half. I'll keep you guys a bit longer. I don't know how long I'm gonna stream. I'll be honest, I have no idea how long I'm gonna stream. But I will definitely end it before the Summer Gaming Fest, the stream begins, because I want to go watch it, and I'll let you go watch. Let you go guys watch it as well. But I still have like at least an hour, so we'll do some more. So what I'm gonna do now is, now we've watched the trailer, right? Now what I want to do is basically listen to her in-game dialogues and quotes, and see how they actually differ in English and Korean. Calm yourself, Hantai. Calm yourself. So basically, this website is the Honey Hunter World, a database for Genshin or other MiHoYo games as well. And thank God this place exists, because I can just scroll down and there is the full database of the voice lines. Thank God this exists. You got her? No, I'm not pulling for her because I am waiting for this girl called Emily, who's coming in a month. She's coming next month. The reason why I'm getting her is because, let me sidetrack for a bit and let me show you why I'm trying to pull for Emily. Oh, that's Korean. Well, hold on, I feel like I've searched in the wrong box. Why are there two search boxes? Do you not have a portrait, sir? There we go. There she is. There she is. Oh, she's beautiful. She's absolutely breathtaking. Glasses right? Always. Always. It could never be not. But yes, I'm like, they just announced Emily's existence, or rather the fact that she's gonna be playable like a couple days ago. And I was like, well, I'm not pulling anything until she arrives. You know, as expected. I will never change my behavior. I'm happy for my boy. Thank you, Teal. I appreciate it. But so yeah, I haven't pulled Clorinde, and I will not this time at least. He gets 4 glasses waifus. Who's the 4th one? Who's the 4th one? I mean, I guess there's technically 4, I guess. Cloud Retainer, Emily, Sucrose, and Charlotte, but Charlotte's monocles. So she's barely in the zone, but you know, if new Mega Knight waifu appears, then that's Charlotte's gonna lose her position. The short hair is a half no-no for me. You know what? Fair. You know, everyone to each their own. You know who's the best waifu? It's your waifu. Your waifu is the best waifu. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You know, it's, if you like something, I'm happy for it. I have Dia and Candace, so I'm good. I'm happy for you, Teal. Based. Don't even play Genshin. True. Hey, you know what? I have Dia and Sunga has Candace, so I guess you can see them whenever you want. Anyhow, let's go to the scroll down. Where was it? What the space balls? Okay, here we are. So thank you, Honey Hunter World, for being the space an amazing database where they have the entire database of her voice lines and everything else. So I'm gonna go through, not all of it, because if I went through all of it, there's like 16 million voices here. That's gonna take way too long. I'm not gonna do that. I'll just try to pick some more interesting ones and see how they go. I don't have Dia. I want her gimme. Unfortunate. Most unfortunate. I hope you get her. I really do. Oh, okay. So, let's see. So, there are a bunch of lines. Let's start from top, I guess. Party switch.
Per your wishes.
Per your wishes, she says. Korean one, she says.
네 초대 응할게.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. Immediately different. Korean, English, she said, per your wishes. In Korean, she said, 네 초대 응할게, which means I accept your invitation, which is immediately a little different from the English one. Very interesting. Hold on, what does the Japanese one say?
あなたの頼みなら
Huh.
Per your wishes.
The Japanese one is closer to the English because
あなたの頼みなら
the English one, she says あなたの頼みなら, which means if it's your wish or if it's your request. So it's the Japanese one is more it's closer to English one. Very interesting. Okay, hold on. What about the second one?
Need to hire a duelist?
Uh-huh.
결투 대리인으로 나서줄까?
Okay, yeah, that one's pretty much the same. So English, she said need to hire is she a champion duelist?
Need to hire a duelist?
No, she just said need to hire a duelist.
결투 대리인으로 나서줄까?
And Korean, basically, she's asking, do you need a... Oh, interesting. Slight difference, like a minor terminology differences here. Again, we've established so far with her teasers that this dual proxy thing is referred to as a champion duelist in Fontaine. But in English, she just says duelist. But in Korean, she still used the same term, 결투 대리인. So, slight differences there. Interesting. How about the Japanese?
代理決闘の依頼か?
Oh, okay. Again, okay, Japanese one is actually very different here. This time, Japanese feels a bit standalone.
代理決闘の依頼か?
Basically, what she says is this a request for a dual proxy? That's the literal translation, I guess. So, which is different. Like the Korean and the English one, they're basically asking like, do you need a champion duelist? But Japanese one is straight up asking, is this a request? And by request, I mean like a formal like business request. Very interesting. Okay, let's go with the third one. Hold on.
如你所要，需要我为你代理决斗吗?
I have no idea. I'm sorry. I have no idea how Chinese works, and I have no idea what you said. I'm so sorry. I can't. I can dig out like no information out of it.
My blade will lead us through the shadows.
Shadow Hunter.
내 칼날은 그림자를 겨누지.
Oh.
My blade will lead us through the shadows.
내 칼날은 그림자를 겨누지.
Okay, some difference here. So in English, she said, my blade... What did she say?
My blade will lead us through the shadows.
Lead us through the shadows. But in Korean, she says, 내 칼날은 그림자를 겨누지. 겨누지 means to aim or to point. So basically in Korean, she said, my blade aims at the shadows or points the shadows. Which is clearly quite different from the English one.
My blade will lead us through the shadows.
Because you know, she's leading through the shadows. Very interesting. Like, this is why I do this, right? Because, like, these languages, like, sure, they're translations and they're, like, similar. They're not, like, wildly different. But there are, like, nuances and subtle, like, differences that are, like, here and there. I love it. I love it. I love seeing these differences and thinking out how exactly they're different. Hold on. Actually, I want to check something real quick. Her in-game title... on Candlebearer Shadow Hunter. Oh, I see. Okay, so next one is, let's see the opening chests.
A stroke of good luck, and a very welcome one.
Okay.
운이 좋네. 훌륭해.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, okay, I think I was right when I said the Korean Clorinde sounds a lot colder and restrained. Because, okay, let's listen to the English one again.
A stroke of good luck, and a very welcome one.
Yeah, so she's visibly happy. She's expressing her approval about this good luck of finding a chest. But in Korean,
운이 좋네. 훌륭해.
she straight up says, you have good luck. Excellent. That's it. That's all she says. Wow, okay. Clorinde, or Korean Clorinde, she doesn't, well, fudge around, does she? Huh.
If these items are unclaimed, we may take them without controversy.
This sounds like she's scared that some people might come back to bite her ass, but okay.
주인 없는 물건은 분쟁의 여지가 없지.
Ooh, okay. So that's what they were trying to go at.
If these items are unclaimed, we may take them without controversy.
So I don't know if it's just my interpretation of it, but the English one, she sounds a bit more cautious, right? She's like, if these are not owned by anyone, then we can just take them without controversy. But the Korean one,
주인 없는 물건은 분쟁의 여지가 없지.
So what she says is, ownerless items are free from controversies. So she's straight up, I think like she's a bit more direct in the way she's saying as well. So she's like, hold on, let me just close this address because they are very distracting. And Paper Mario gotta stay up, I guess. Hold on, let me zoom in. Thank you. There we go. There. I've hidden the Mario. Get out of here, Mario. Well, what was I saying? Yeah, so the Korean one, I think like she's like explicitly mentioning a gap in the law where like, oh, you know, if no one owns these items, then just go ahead and take it. I feel like that's what she's implying. Oh no, how about the Japanese one?
どこにも属さないものだ。争いの種にもならないだろう。
Oh, okay. I feel like the Japanese one is closer to English. Hold on, let me hear that again because that was a bit complex and I couldn't hear all of it.
どこにも属さないものだ。争いの種にもならないだろう。
Yeah. So I think this one I could be wrong because that was a kind of complex, like a long sentence. But I think what she said is that there doesn't seem to be any owners to these things, objects. There shouldn't be any like controversy because of it, which makes it sound like the Japanese one is a bit closer to English. You know, she's trying to wiggle her room into this instead of being more direct as the Korean one is.
First to find gets to stake their claim. Seems fair.
Mm-hmm.
선착순인가? 합리적이군.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. The Korean Clorinde is so she's so restrained and disciplined. So here, this time, they basically say the same thing, but in English,
first to find gets to stake their claim. Seems fair.
The English, she is drawing out what she's saying a bit, and she's like, oh, it seems fair. But the Korean one,
선착순인가? 합리적이군.
she basically said first to claim, huh? Rational. That's it. That's all she said. She just says rational. Holy moly. Damn. I don't know if I want to get on the bad side of a Korean Clorinde. I feel like she would be the kind of person where if it's like a duel, she will shoot your head on sight and just be done with it. She seems very practical and rational. Impressive. KRVA just go all out Mao. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna skip the attack and damage noises. Hold on. Actually, no. Not all of it. I think because I don't want. I feel like Twitch might bring up the was it TOS if some things go south. I mean, to be fair, it's not like I'm trying to listen to something explicit, but I'll come back to these later, and I'll go on to like the skill, because I know that these ones below here are like, the battle skills are actual like combat dialogues. Here, some of them are like battle grunts, some of them are lines. I don't know which one's which, so I'll come back to it later. How dare you! Don't worry, I'll come back to them. Let's see here. Battle skill 1.
Ready.
Ready, okay.
준비.
Okay, same thing. That's the same thing.
射撃준비.
Interesting. I guess this the Japanese one basically said ready to fire instead of just being ready. I think that's because in Korean you can just say 준비, which means ready, and you can just say that and make sense. But I don't think that's a thing they do in Japanese. I could be wrong here though. 2.
Loaded.
Loaded.
장전.
Huh, that's a bit different.
Loaded.
English is loaded.
장전.
Korean is 장전, which means just load. So it could mean both loaded and loading. So it's slightly different. Hold on, how about the Japanese one?
소텐.
This one is same as Korean. 소텐, which is 장전, is the same word. Another example of a Korean word and Japanese word being kind of the same thing because they have the roots in the Chinese characters.
Into the shadows.
그림자
Oops, my bad.
사냥. 그림자 사냥.
Oh, that's cool. In Korean, she said shadow hunting instead of into the shadows. Cool.
가게を打つ.
Interesting. This one, Korean, Japanese, English are all different. In English, we have
Into the shadows.
into the shadows. in Korean we have shadow hunting.
影を撃つ
In Japanese we have shoot the shadows. Or shoot a shadow. Which of course, can be similar in their meaning.
Into the shadows.
I think the English one stands out a bit. It seems the most different because the other two are... I mean, the Korean one is a bit open to interpretation, I guess, because she says shadow hunting. But she's not specific about whether she's hunting the shadows or she's hunting in the shadow. I guess it's supposed to be a dual meaning. They did it on purpose. Cool. How about so these ones were her E skills, or basically her normal skills. Let's sound how her Q, or basically Elemental Burst, the ultimate sounds.
Hunt them down.
Uh-huh.
악을 쏜다.
Oh, isn't that supposed to be other lines? That one, what she said was shoot the evil. Oh.
邪悪を狩り撃つ
Okay, this time Japanese and Korean are similar. Basically, they both said shoot the evil.
악을 쏜다.
This one, it sounds like she's saying two words, and it's just two words actually. 악을, 악 means evil, and 쏜다 it means to shoot, which I mentioned earlier in the Boothill trailer. So she just says shoot the evil. The Japanese one is also similarly, she says shoot the evil.
Time to testify.
Okay.
자백할 시간이다.
Oh, okay. This one's a little different. English, she says time to testify. To testify or testimony is not like, it's different from a confession, right? But in Korean,
자백할 시간이다.
she says it's time to confess. So it's time to come clean, basically. So so basically the Korean Clorinde basically just assumes and knows that she's fighting the bad guy or the culprit. Yep, she's definitely very cold-hearted. Hold on, how about the Japanese one?
潔白を証明する時だ。
Huh.
潔白を証明する時だ。
Huh. Okay, I don't understand the language 100%, but if I'm not mistaken, what she said is it's time to prove your innocence? Hold on.
潔白を証明する時だ。
Yeah, I think she basically said it's time to prove your innocence. Huh. So we have lawful neutral, which is English, lawful good, which is Japanese, and lawful evil, which is Korean. That's what's happening here. Huh. Funny.
Where evil lurks, shoot on sight.
Oh, that one sounds more like the Korean first line.
그림자 속에서 악을 꿰뚫으리.
Hold on, what did she say?
Hunt them down. Where evil lurks, shoot on sight.
그림자 속에서 악을 꿰뚫으리.
Ooh. Another difference here. So, where evil lurks, shoot on sight. That one's completely different actually.
그림자
Oops, wrong one.
그림자 속에서 악을 꿰뚫으리.
Yeah, so what the Korean said is basically from the shadows pierce the evil. And that's completely different from the English one. How about the Japanese one?
悪を見極め、影を狩り尽くす。
Okay, yeah, that's one. Hold on. What?
悪を見極め、影を狩り尽くす。
I do not understand enough for that one. But I think that one's a bit closer to Korean than the English. Huh. Interesting. The English voice always sounds so try-hard to me. It's the manner of like... Because, okay, this is something that's a common thing on with voice acting. When you're like voice acting in like anime, video games or not, especially like if you're like voice-overing for Japanese or Chinese video games, the way you talk, like if you think about it, nobody talks like how they talk in like video games. At least most video games. Like these Genshin, for example, Genshin characters, if they talk in English, you don't talk like that normally when you speak English. And that actually applies the same way for other languages, like Korean and Japanese. Like the way they speak in like Japanese voice acting and Korean voice acting, that's not how the people talk normally actually. So I think it's only natural that English voice sounds unnatural, because that's not how you talk normally. And Korean and Japanese voice acting, not always, of course there are exceptions. But I feel like they also sound unnatural in some ways, especially the Korean one, in my opinion, because I guess I understand Korean a bit more. I understand the small nuances and whatnot. The only good English voice of a gacha game I ever heard is Reverse 1999. Huh. Reverse 1999? Is that the Limbus company? No, wait, is it? No. Is that a different one? I'm confused. Oh wow! No, hold on. I'm trying to search this up in Google and my phone, and it's. Oh yeah, it's a different game. Yeah. Reverse 1999. Is this like a Victorian English era kind of game? Oh, I should check this out on stream. Different game, yeah, but the game is kind of boring. I see, but I better check it out. Thanks for the idea. You know, like, I'm not only streaming for Genshin. I'm gonna check out like a ton of video games. I'm gonna check out all the... As long as there's like English, Korean voiceover video games out there, I have infinite content. Man, it's so easy right now. Anyhow, what was I saying? Yeah, so like, voice acting in general, usually like they end up sounding quite unnatural. Unless they specifically try to, like, I feel like the best voice acting usually are the ones that sound like how you talk. But voice acting usually, they don't sound like the way you talk. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the voice direction, or I don't know, like, it's the result of your enunciation, like, and projection maybe. I'm not so sure. I'm not a voice actor. But yeah, I think it's only natural that a lot of games and anime don't sound too natural with their voiceovers. Like, same goes for Korean, and same goes for Japanese as well. What I feel like about Japanese is, why am I getting like 16 million emails? Jesus Christ. Japanese voice acting, in my opinion, is consistently high quality, but it's also very, like, structurized in a sense. On the other hand, English voice acting, I think it's the range of quality is more vast. But I think when it's good, it's like really good. In terms of like voice acting. But again, it's less structurized. It's a bit more free with writing and how they do things. Also, if you're voiceovering like for an anime, it's hard because, like, if it's a video game, especially like a 3D video game, then you can just, like, you know, change the movement of the mouth in the modeling. But if it's like anime, then like, you can't ask the animators to redraw their mouths to fit the English voice, right? So the English voice has to fit the mouth. So the way they speak, the sentences they can choose are very limited. And usually these sentences end up sounding very unnatural. So it's a bit hard to voice over like anime. That's why I only choose English voice when I don't know how to read and chilling with my headset on. Fair. You know, I'm not about to say, you know, oh, English voiceover is trash, or like sub is superior, no, dub is the best. Nah, I think that whole debate is juvenile in my opinion. Just watch what you like, Jesus Christ. Looks at Speed Racer. Oh boy. Yeah, like, you know, it's what you like is the best, you know? Like, if you like something, I'm glad. You don't have to, like, be an ass about it. Sorry for the random tangent. Anyhow, so did we listen through all of them? Yeah, we did. Did we? Okay, we did. Okay, let's move on to... Okay, so normal attack, medium attack, heavy attack, they're all just battle grunts and no lines. The taking damage part, there's like lines here and there. I hope this doesn't get me banned on Twitch. Let's see which lines exist. off to a bad start. Hold on.
A
No.
sharpshooter.
Okay, that's a real line, thank God.
A sharpshooter.
Okay. How about the Korean one?
제법 정확하군.
She doesn't even feel the pain. She's just like, she said, like, in literal sense, she said, that's pretty precise, or in other words, you're a pretty good shooter. That's what she's saying. But she doesn't even show pain. She's like, oh, you're pretty good. Bro, the Korean one's like, is her heart made of like steel? Jesus Christ. How about the Japanese one?
なかなか正確だ。
Okay, yeah, the Japanese one is more like closer to a Korean one in this case. How about the third one? No. No! Damn it. No? Is it just one line? I guess it's just one line. Yeah, it's just one line, I guess. Okay, moving on to high damage. That? Huh? Really? That doesn't sound like high damage.
Enough!
Oh, okay, she's getting angry. How about the Korean one?
거기까지다.
Okay, she said the same thing. Enough. Or 거기까지, that means like stop right there, or that's enough. And how about the Japanese one? そこまでだ?
そこまでだ.
Got him! Yeah, so it's the same thing as a Korean. Okay, are there any other lines? Nope, that's it. I'm not listening to anything else because I don't want to get banned. Were there any other lines? Spring jumping, climbing, open world idol, fainting.
The victor is declared.
Uh-huh.
승패는 정해졌어.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty much the same thing. In terms of differences, like in terms of like their meaning, that's pretty much the same thing. But their expressions are kind of different. So the English one said the victor has been decided.
승패는 정해졌어.
So the Korean one, I mean, I guess this expression doesn't exist in English and vice versa. No, okay. So the victor has been decided. The expression exists in Korean, but this version of what she says in Korean, it doesn't exist in English. What she says is basically, oh no, there is one. The match has been decided. That's what she's basically saying in the Korean one. The match has been decided instead of the victor. Of course, pretty much the same thing, but minor nuance differences. How about the Japanese one?
勝敗は決した.
Yep, same as a Korean. How about the second one?
I am defeated.
Uh-huh.
패자는 이렇게.
Oh, that's dark. That's dark. Holy moly. Okay. So, English one, she just said, I'm defeated. But the Korean one, basically what she said is, so this is how the loser, and it cuts. So, bro, she died. She died. Holy moly, that was dark. Hold on, how about the Japanese one?
敗者の当然の結末だ.
So, the Japanese one is kind of different.
敗者の当然の結末だ.
Okay, so the Japanese one, she's basically saying the loser and then a natural outcome. I don't know what she's exactly trying to say here. But I guess she's saying something similar to the Korean one. You know, she's lost and it's time to die, I guess. Damn! That's getting dark real quick. Let's move on to the next one. I'm scared.
You've cleared your name.
Okay.
네 명예는 증명됐다.
Ooh, okay, I like that one.
You've cleared your name.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing in terms of meaning. But Korean one, what she says is,
네 명예는 증명됐다.
you've proven your honor. That's what she says in Korean. Which I think it's a bit cooler to say than you've... What did she say in English? I keep forgetting.
You've cleared your name.
You've cleared your name. I think, then again, I guess it's pretty much the same thing. Minor differences.
自らの手で名誉を証明したな。
I don't know what the first half says. The second half is exact same as Korean. You've proven your honor. I don't know what the first half says, unfortunately. Yeah, my lack of Japanese skills is showing. But yeah, interesting. So the Jesus Christ, the Korean one version is quite dark. Yeah, I didn't expect her to just straight up get unalive. Holy moly. Okay, so let's move on to like actual, like they have like series of like long lines recorded in the game as well. Let's see, which one would be more interesting? Hold on, actually, there's some combat lines that are missing. They're like down there. This will elemental burst. Ah, here. Hold on.
Time to finish this.
Okay.
This is sheer anarchy. What a disgrace.
Why is she blaming it on the anarchy? Interesting. Okay, those are the English lines. I have to scroll up and change to Korean. But let's see what she says for the Korean one. Where is it? Ah.
빨리 승부를 내야겠군.
Ah, okay. Slightly different. English one was a time to finish this. Korean, what she said is, I better finish this quick.
거만하게 굴지 마.
Huh, that's completely different. English, she says, this is sheer anarchy. Korean, she said, such arrogance. Yeah, those are completely different. Oh.
우습군.
Okay, so Korean, she said, laughable, which is pretty similar to what I disgrace. It's pretty much same. Okay, it's insanity to change the line every language. Since it's written in English anyway, I'll listen to them in Korean and compare them. And if it's interesting enough, I'll listen to the English again. So, Li low HP, she says retreat in English. In Korean, she says...
일단 퇴각해.
Okay, yeah. So same thing, but I think the urgency is kind of different. Hold on, let me do it. Funny, I'm just gonna listen to English right away. I wanna see or hear how urgent she is as she's saying it.
일단 퇴각해.
What? Sorry, I changed to English. That's not English. Oh, maybe not. Maybe. Okay, that one's on me. My bad. Oh, is it because I'm scrolling? No. I'm just an idiot. My bad on that one. Where is it?
Retreat.
Yeah, not a whole lot of... I mean, she's urgent, but she's not like... She's like, get out of here! No, she's not doing that, but in Korean...
일단 퇴각해.
She does say the same thing, I guess, but like, she says 일단, which means, what's the best word to put it in English? Yeah, so literally she's saying retreat first, or retreat for now, which like slight added nuance. Pretty much the same thing, not a whole lot of different. How about this one?
내가 맡을 테니 물러서.
Okay, same thing. The only difference is the English one, she said, I'll take over and then get to safety. 2 sentences. Korean, what she says is, I'll take over, so get to safety. It's just 1 sentence. Not a whole lot of difference. This one we heard. We heard all of them. Oh, damn. My voice is actually falling apart. I might have to end this sooner than I thought. To be fair, I've already used my voice quite a bit today because I was out working. So I might have to cut it shorter than I wanted to. But I still have a bit more within me. Let's see, what else would be an interesting sentence? Or recording to hear. Hello, opponents. Champion duelist. A duel. When it rains, she says, prey will usually rest on rainy days, but not the hunter. Let's see what she says in Korean.
사냥감은 비가 올 때 쉬더라도 사냥꾼은 그럴 수 없어.
Same thing. No difference actually. Almost word to word. After the rain, the battle between wind and rain appears to have reached its end. In Korean.
바람과 구름의 싸움이 승부가 난 모양이네.
Same thing. So far, like Korean and English have been almost like copy pasted. Oh, hold on. Okay, when thunder strikes, in English she says, hopefully that was the sound of one more villain being removed from the world. She just straight up wished someone got hit by that lightning. Okay, Clorinde. How about Korean?
세상의 악인이 한 명이라도 줄어들었길.
Yep, she says the same thing. I mean, to be fair, it's a little like different. In Korean, she's implying it a little bit. She just says may there be one less evil or one less villain in this world. That's all she says. But in the English one, she's just like straight up, I hope that's the sound of some idiot getting struck by lightning. Holy moly. Who hurt you, Clorinde? Damn. Okay, when it snows, this is a new sight for me, a rather bleak one, I must say, so she says.
신기하네. 쓸쓸하기도 하고.
Oh, okay. So she said, that's interesting, or that's fascinating, and lonely. Yeah, Korean Clorinde pretty much likes to get to the point. She doesn't, beat around the bush and decorates her words. She just gets to it. In the desert. Oh, this is gonna be funny. So in English she says, I have never missed Fontaine so much in all my life, excuse me. In Korean,
폰타인이 이렇게 그리운 건 처음이야.
Yep, she says the same thing. Yeah. Which is, like lore-wise context, Fontaine is a city surrounded by water. It's just water everywhere there, and then so if you're in the desert, you're just asking to die. And the Nouvellette, the Chief Justice guy, if you bring him to a desert, he says, is this an attempted assassination? He hates it that much. It's kind of funny. Let's see, what else? What? Hold on. Good afternoon. Apologies. I don't get off work till later. Here, take the sandwich. It'll keep the wolf from the door? Huh? What is she saying? Hold on.
미안. 아직 업무 시간이라서. 샌드위치 줄 테니까 배부터 채우고 있어.
I don't know why she said it'll keep the wolf from the door. I'm a batch before the dirtman get me. Forgo to take some dirt in today. Good night, gamers. No, thank you for swinging by, Hentai Master. I hope you see you again next week and have a good night's rest. Interesting. Are there any other? I mean, I might actually end it in a bit as well because I can feel the strain on my voice. That's yeah, I was talking for 2 whole hours before I streamed as well, so my vocal energy has been spent, and I don't wanna this is my first stream back. I'm this is experimental / pilot. I don't wanna overstrain myself either. But so far it's been very fun, and I hope whoever who swung, for everyone else who swung by, because I saw the viewers were up to 6 or 7 in the middle. Whoever else were in my stream also enjoyed my yapparoni yappuccinos. But is there any other extra interesting sentences? I don't think I see anything particularly. What? Hold on. I feel like my eyesight just improved. Let me do a test shot on the leaf over there. What?
눈썰미가 좋아진 건가? 저 낙엽을 한번 맞춰봐야겠어.
That is what she says. Huh. Interesting. Start a new streak and then it's Gucci. I'll be streaming every Fridays. You can count on that. Unless I die, I guess. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, I guess Not a whole lot of like crazy funny lines for her because for obvious reasons. But so yeah, I guess the conclusion is the English Clorinde is lawful neutral and Korean Clorinde is lawful evil. No, that's not the right way to put it. But the Korean Clorinde is definitely more restrained and direct, even compared to the English Clorinde. Very interesting. Okay, I actually do think I'll be wrapping up here because one, my voice is actually kind of screwed. Well, not screwed, but I'm actually tired quite a bit. This was a pilot stream, very experimental. But I personally enjoyed this format quite a bit. I think I can work on some things, improve some parts of it. But I see the potential. I had fun. Hopefully the viewers had fun. And I'll see what I can do with it. Hold on. Excuse me. Now it's... what EST is this? Now it's 3 p.m. EST, eh? Which means it's 2 more hours until the legendary Summer Gaming Fest. And... I don't know what you guys are looking for the Summer Gaming Fest. I was looking for Kingdom Hearts. I was looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 4. Unfortunately, that's not a thing. Actually, hold on. Give me a sec. I want to try something. I want to fix this while I'm at it. Hold on. Chatting. What? It's working? Excuse me? What the... Okay, I don't know why, but the just chatting in chat is not working. I'll fix that later. That's a problem for future me. I learned from the best. But yeah, I was looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 4 and then Jeff Keighley said Lamau. So I'm disappointed. So there's probably not gonna be there. I don't know about anything else. I'll have to wait and see what else comes up in the stream. But yeah, I guess that's about it. You should refresh the source and see if that works. No, I think I just I forgot to, like, recently I migrated everything to stream elements from Streamlabs, and I think I forgot to like change some things on that other scene. I'll work on it off stage. It's fine. It's not too urgent. I can chat with this. I don't need a just chatting screen to chat with you guys. But yeah, hope you thank you for sticking around till the end, Teal. Hope you enjoyed today's stream. Mega Man X. Excuse me? Oh! Wait. Damn. That's oddly specific. You know what would be funny? Mighty Number 9 2. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll take that back. I'm sorry. That was too much. It's going to be real. Trust me, bro. I trust you, bro. Yeah, I don't expect anything else, honestly. I was just looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 4, but if that's not gonna be there, then it surprised me, I guess. I was gonna say something. Ah, yes. Announcement, technically speaking. I will be streaming every Fridays for sure around this hour. I do like this time. I might push it back a little bit so I have more time to have dinner. But otherwise, it's not too much of a big deal. It'll be around this time, lunchtime for the Eastern folks. Honestly, I don't know what to want. Me neither, man. And Jeff Keighley was like, don't expect much from this time around. I'm like, oh, okay. No expectation today, I guess. We'll have to wait and see where things go and what happens. I just closed the ad and the ad is coming back. Wow. ZZZ is going to release soon and that's the only game I wanted to play. Fair. I'm actually looking forward to ZZZ as well. And, you know, at this point, we don't even care, like, what if it shows up in the Gaming Fest or not, because it's releasing, what, next month, right? So, like, who cares? We will see the game next month anyway, so we don't even need it in Summer Gaming Fest. But yeah, I am looking forward to ZZZ as well, actually. I'm definitely gonna try it when it comes out. Oh, my eyes! Oh! Excuse me. My eyes almost exploded. So this might be the game that MiHoYo caught my interest. Yeah, it's you know, they got medieval fantasy, they got sci-fi, and time to add the what was it? The street punk slash urban fantasy. And then they have the trifecta. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, ooh, my voice is a little screwed. I better wrap it up before I actually lose my voice. So, thank you Teal, and thank you everyone else who swung by today. As I mentioned, I'll be streaming every Friday around this time, around lunchtime Eastern. So I hope to see everyone again. I'll be back definitely next week, unless something happens to me, hopefully not. Otherwise, I hope everyone enjoyed. I'll be back next week with something else to talk about, or rather, some other like Korean English thing to talk about. This will be my main shtick from now on. Talking about voiceovers in video games. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Glad you're back to streaming, dude. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to see you again. Hope you have a nice rest of the day, Teal, and everyone else, and I'll be seeing you all next week. Half Mango out.